The weakest go first, you know, that's the way it works. And then who will do bad is like commercial banks will do terrible, like Bank of America and the Chicago Bank, and other banks like that, because their balance sheet's mostly government debt. So they'll go broke and disappear. But Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, like in the Great Depression era, those are international trading banks, investment banks. Those banks like that, those two, they can go short US or short European debt. So they can load up and actually do quite well when shit hits the fan. And that's what happened in Europe, Versailles Europe, because I know French banks were loaded with shorts. So they kind of wanted Austria to go broke. They just didn't want it to get so bad, the situation. But how do you control it once it starts? But they wanted to make money. Yeah, well, they're traders, you know. They don't care about, is it good for the country? Is it bad for the community? Is what I'm doing right or wrong? As long as it's legal and it results in profit, they only care about that. They don't have any value judgments about, you know, most of these international bank types guys, global Democrats, are kind of like trader mentalities, you know. They don't have a big heart, you know.
No, it's profit.
It's only money, profit and loss. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about the bottom line.
Yeah, and minimum risk, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it is. And insider information is the best way, you know, controlling the government. But that's besides the point. Who else will do badly? In a situation like I described during the Great Depression, like you said, the Okies, you know, people like these farmers back in 33, 34 in America, you know, 70% of America was agriculture at this time. You know, a lot of people lived on the farm or in small communities. But now most of the people live in cities. And have no food, and they will can only last a few days if there's a major disruption. It'll be chaos, and complete chaos. But back then, you at least had your neighbors you can manage. You produce some of your own food. You had animals, or somebody you know did. But nobody, you know, self-standing now. Hardly anybody.
Oh no.
Yeah, 70%. It's hard to believe, but we were still agrarian back then. But now
it's probably the opposite. It's 70% in cities.
Yeah, now it is. I think it's 3%. It's directly agriculture or even farmer. You know, no one's doing it. So yeah, it'll be much more scary if the distribution pipelines break and nobody's exchanging anymore. You know, but the Okies, I was going to say, you know, what they often did was borrow money short term for their crops. And at the end of the year, they'd sell the crops, pay back the loan. Well, what happened, especially in that book, is they were unable to wait a few months till harvest time to pay. And the bank called the money, their loans, now. And the people who could not pay off their loans, they lost their properties. And so we're going to see this too, where car loans, mortgages, I bet a lot of them, if not nearly all, if somebody cannot pay it back what they owe, they'll lose everything. They'll lose everything.